This morning, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is under investigation. The House Ethics Committee revealing that it is continuing to probe Gaetz over explosive allegations, including that he engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug use, accepted improper gifts, and that he sought to obstruct government investigations of his conduct.
There's one thing that Matt Gaetz did that should put him in jail for a long time if it's true and proven. But some of the other charges sound like nonsense to me. But we're gonna ask you guys, we're gonna do two snap poll time. First one is illicit drugs. Do you care if Matt Gaetz has done illicit drugs? It's in the chat. If you're watching the show live, we're live every day, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. You get to participate in the snap poll. Can't wait to see what the results are, and then we'll give you the other one in a second. But first, you gotta find out all the facts, so Ben.
All right, let's get into it. The House Ethics Committee, an oxymoron in and of itself, continues to be a headache for Florida Rep. Matt Gaetz, as more details about their investigation continue to be revealed. A new report from ABC News following Tuesday's statement from the committee reveals investigators have interviewed at least a half dozen women who allegedly attended parties where Gaetz was present. Okay, nothing inherently wrong with that. And women who were paid by Joel Greenberg. The same amount that Gaetz paid to Greenberg, getting shadier. In the interviews, which have previously not been reported, some witnesses have been shown Venmo payments they allegedly received from Gaetz and asked if those payments were for sexual activities, sources said. Some of the witnesses have been subpoenaed by the committee while others have agreed to cooperate, according to the sources. One woman who ABC News is not identifying told the committee that a payment from Gaetz was for sex, while others have said they were paid to attend parties that Gaetz also attended and that featured drugs and sex. Multiple sources told ABC News. In some of our past reporting, we've covered that investigators have also asked multiple witnesses about a July 2017 party that ABC News first reported on. The committee obtained a sworn statement from a woman who said she attended the party in Florida that Gaetz also attended, sources said. Multiple witnesses have also told the committee they saw Gaetz engage in illicit drug use at the parties, sources said. So that's the initial facts. I'd love to pause for a moment and discuss it. I know, Cenk, you've got an interesting take on it.
Thanks for watching. Our audience has helped build TYT into the media giant it is today. Together, we can accomplish anything. Support our work and join us at tyt.com/team.
So look, first of all, anytime any story talks about such and such person was at such and such party, I stop reading. Like, if he did something wrong at the party, then it's super relevant. He was at a party where someone else might have done something wrong. I don't know what happened at every party I was at. Are you crazy? I don't even know why that's discussed. I think that's such a weird thing to bring up, unless you're just trying to smear someone, right? So that applies to Democrats or Republicans. So secondly, he might have done illicit drug use. I can't find a way to care. That's why I'm asking you guys in the poll. I assume that most of us hate Matt Gaetz. I don't like Matt Gaetz for policy reasons, for many other reasons. He's a jerk, he's divisive, he spreads hatred, etc. But illicit drugs, why would I care what he does in his private life? So the next poll is gonna be about consensual sex. But I wanna tell you guys the thing that I would care a lot about. Greenberg, that Ben mentioned, got 11 years for trafficking a minor, right? So one of the girls is alleged to be 17 years old. So just like I did with Donald Trump and Michael Cohen went to jail, went to prison for campaign finance violations that he did with Donald Trump. So why wouldn't we charge Donald Trump? They're co-conspirators. So if Matt Gaetz did that act with a 17-year-old along with Greenberg, then he should go to prison right next to Greenberg. No question about it, period. But the Department of Justice, for whatever reason, under Merrick Garland, dropped those charges. So this is the ethics committee investigating that. So put the underage girl aside. If he did that, everyone on planet Earth, I hope, agrees that he should go to prison, right? But for illicit drugs, what do you think, Ben? Do you care?
No, I agree with you. I don't care. I mean, obviously, technically they are illegal on a federal level, but people break those, no victim crimes all the time. And I would be hypocritical if I said that I had a problem with that. Not for any personal reasons, just on hypocritical moral grounds. But Also, as far as Donald Trump being charged for the same things that Michael Cohen was charged, Trump just doesn't have room on his schedule for any more charges. I think we need to.
Well, they got him
space
on
them
that
out.
one, so it's okay.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But he was not put in jail like Cohen was, and
Yeah,
so
that's
there
true.
is a double standard popping around. But let's pivot for a minute to the specifics of the Venmo transactions, if we can. In addition to these testimonies, the committee has also issued subpoenas for the DOJ's records related to its probe into Gaetz. The DOJ has resisted turning over the information. However, they were able to obtain Gaetz's Venmo records, which were used in their interviews with witnesses. During the DOJ investigation into Gaetz, public reporting, including by the Daily Beast, largely focused on Venmo records from Greenberg, who, according to his plea agreement, used his account to pay for commercial sex acts with women he also introduced to others. The committee obtaining Gaetz's record, which ABC News has not seen, could help provide congressional investigators with a roadmap for payments that congressman may have made while he was friends with Greenberg. According to a report from the Daily Beast in 2021, Gaetz Venmoed Joel Greenberg $900 in 2 separate transactions in the same night. At the time of this report, Gaetz's Venmo history was still public. The next morning, 3 women were then sent by Greenberg a total of, you guessed it, $900. The memo field, if you couldn't be any more sloppy than this, the memo field for the first of Gaetz's transactions to Greenberg was titled Test. Now, $450 or so test, pretty expensive, usually send a penny. In the second, the Florida congressman wrote, hit up blank. But in place of the blank, Gaetz wrote a nickname for one of the recipients. The Daily Beast didn't share the name because the teenager only turned 18 6 months before. When Greenberg then made his Venmo payments to these 3 young women, he described the money as being for tuition and school. Wink, wink. So there's that.
Jesus. See, look, that's why I'm saying, like, there's no love for Matt Gaetz, man. I mean, when you're joking around that the girls that you're paying to have sex with need the money for school and tuition, maybe you shouldn't be sleeping with them, okay? Like, for God's sake.
Yeah, or they do need the money for school and tuition and they're desperate for the money, and that is not any better. It's the same.
Yeah, whether he's joking or not joking, exactly. It gives you a sense of how young they were. Now, so whether we judge him morally is a different question, and legally is a different question, and the ethics committee is a third question, right? So in terms of the illicit drugs, we'll give you the results of the snap poll in a second, and then we're gonna ask you about, but do you care, and this is the harder one, if he paid for consensual sex with an adult? We all care if it's not an adult, that's obvious, right? So, but with an adult paying for consensual sex, did he do it? I don't know why Department of Justice dropped the charges or dropped a case. They never charged him. But I mean, did he pay for them? Of course, look at the notes, right? Then the money matches up perfectly. And then he jokes around about paying for sex in the notes. So I don't think there's much of a question that he did it. I'm not saying with the 17-year-old, I'm saying in general, right? So do you care about it, Ben? What do you think?
Well, first of all, to be fully fair about it, he is not necessarily joking about having sex with them or paying for it. It's a money amount transferred to them. Apparently at the party, some women were paid to attend. So it could have been theoretically Greenberg saying, hey buddy, give me half the money that we paid these girls to attend to make it a great party, potentially.
No, that's a great point, Ben. So it's, to be fair, it doesn't prove perfectly that he paid for the sex. He might have paid to attend or other things, but okay, yeah, good point.
And then to your question, do I care if he indeed did pay for consensual sex with an adult? I don't personally care. It then depends. I mean, somebody who's a public servant certainly should not be, breaking federal law. State law as well, it's illegal certainly in every jurisdiction in this country. Sex work is work, so I think these people can't find other work. Oftentimes they need the work, and so I don't want to demonize that, and there's no work without people paying for the work. That said, a lot of those people are doing so without their full volition. They can be trafficked, they can be coerced into this kind of work, in which case it's terrible to support it, but it's very hard for any one person to know what situation they are entering into that. So I'm split on it. I don't think he should do that. I don't think it's a major crime to do so, but the devil's in the details there.
Yeah. All right. First poll results are in, and I'm very curious about the second poll. On the illicit drug use, again, a little bit all over the board. On YouTube chat, 70-30 saying, no, we don't care. Okay, 70-30 don't care. On Twitch, they really don't care. 85% saying they don't care, 15% saying they do. But on YouTube community, but those get put up earlier. So if you don't see the full context of the story, that's this vote for now. Now a lot of people are going to vote after this clip is done. But there it's closer, 53% saying they don't care, 47% saying they do care. So that's interesting. So that's, and then of course on tyt.com, it comes in at similar numbers to the people that are watching live. So 70 to about 71 to 21. Okay, so now on the paying for sex, I wouldn't prosecute it. I don't care, and I wouldn't prosecute it. So I said the same for Elliot Spitzer when they got him on that when he was the governor of New York and he was going after Wall Street. He was known as a sheriff of Wall Street. He was trying to hold them accountable so they wouldn't rob us. So there's a whole movie on Netflix about a documentary, and a bunch of billionaires got together and they said, let's target him and eliminate him. Let's just dig up dirt until we find something. And they did, and they found that he was visiting prostitutes. He was a prosecutor. That makes it way more hypocritical, to your point, Ben. And I get it, that's really bothersome, but nevertheless, no, you're targeting him. This is a very low level crime that I don't think should be a crime at all. So no, I wouldn't have prosecuted Elliot Spitzer, who I like, and I also wouldn't prosecute Matt Gaetz, who I don't like, just based on principles.
And in fact, decriminalizing prostitution is what would make it safer. You know, that's
100%.
That's a big part of it. In the Netherlands, it's legal under very strictly controlled terms, and it seems to be a much safer industry because of that. Whenever anything has to go in the deep background becomes an illicit act or illicit profession, it all of a sudden always, of course, becomes beholden to the dark forces that can manipulate anything that is not allowed to be shown in the light of day. So, you know, sunlight's the best disinfectant, and no pun intended, considering the line of work. But so there that is.
Yeah. All right. Last thing on it is, remember that we don't know why the Justice Department dropped it. It's Merrick Garland doesn't like to prosecute anyone in power. It took him 2.5 years to muster up the courage to appoint a special counsel about Trump. So he lets Republicans go on the free on the regular. So I don't know. Maybe they had nothing on him, or maybe they did, but Garland was too scared. But on the ethics committee, we do know why that's come up. The Republicans don't care at all about the ethics part of it. They're just mad that he took down Kevin McCarthy. So this is the ghost of Kevin McCarthy doing payback. So that ethics investigation, while it might have merit, is also the most political ethics investigation I've seen in a long time. And again, I say that as someone who's not at all in favor of Matt Gaetz. But did they target him? Definitely. Okay. So
for sure, and that seems to be the case, but also doesn't bother me. They want to eat their own, go right ahead.
Yeah, as long as they actually did it and it's a real crime. And so that's why we had these conversations. We're out of time.
Well, honestly, I don't even care if the person actually did it. Let them investigate each other instead of these sham investigations taking down their political opponents. Let them do sham investigations among their own people and reap what they sow a little bit.
Yep. So listen, if you want to see the results of the polls on you care about consensual sex, you can go to tyt.com/polls. We'll have the link down below, or YouTube community. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.